Let's get it. All right, SOS, how y'all doing, man? If you're watching this video because you want to get a little more sharper on writing F&G IULs, this call or video should not be any longer than 24, 25, maybe 30 minutes max. My main purpose is to watch this video for you to watch this video and know how to go into an appointment with a client, second appointment, maybe even first appointment, and really cook up an IUL F&G. A lot of you guys know Anico. You know National Life. I have a video out on YouTube showing how to do an NOG video. I'm gonna warn you before going into this. This is not NOG. NOG's pros is that they have a better user interface. It's a smoother process of going through it with a client. But F&G works. So I think they have a phenomenal product. And so if you want my opinion, as of right now, as of today's date, August 27, 2024, I'm shifting to more of an F&G product. I still like National Life Group using an interface. I'm doing a policy tonight with a client for National Life Group, so I'm still selling that sometimes, mainly because of the fact that they want a term IUL blend. They want the same product. I'm going with NOG, right? If they want the same product, they want the best growth strategy. Going with F&G over NOG. So with that being said, let me fire my screen up here. Let me share my screen and let's get right into it. Right. Broadcast screen share. Let's go. All right, so we are at F&G's website. Obviously, when you first log in, you'll go to here, you'll see F&G annuities, illustrations. You'll go into where it says sales tools drop down. You go to illustrations for F&G life. Annuities are to the left, to your right, you have life. And when you do that, what pops up is right here, start new case. So I'm gonna start new case. We have a client, Chris Hart, looking at a policy. He was born August 5th, 1999. She's 25 years old, right? You have a 25-year-old client here wants a policy, right? And he wants an IUL in Maryland. Looking at the path setter is the main product that we have. The path setter is comparable to the LSW Flex Life. And so here we have path setter, select. And now we're in here. The purpose of this call today, I'm not going to go through too much complex strategies. I want to be a quick video you can watch to know how to max fund an IUL. So I'm going to purposely focus on max funding IULs today. Obviously, this video is not your only source. You got to log in, guys, and do some training. You got to put time into it, right? Think about it. The time it takes me to study it and do this video makes me better. It makes me better. Obviously, I can carve it up for you and send it to you, and it helps advance duplication and advance distribution. But if you're like, man, I want to be as good as Chris says one day, put some time and log into the account and study it for yourself also. So with that being said, we're going here. You saw these numbers here, keeping it super simple here. My client wants a max fund policy. I'll go to Sol 4 right here. So I'm going to act like I'm selling to a client now, guys. So we're going live client. So, hey, my client's name is Chris Hart. So Chris, I know your main purpose was max funding your policy. We did your FLS and you want to see $1,000 a month max funding, right? And so I'm going to here, solve for max accumulation. That means my client wants to maximize the cash value of that policy. We're going to maximize wealth building, but minimize your death benefit coverage. What that means is that you're asking for the lowest amount of life insurance legally possible according to the IRS tax code. I'll hit this here minimum MEC on the policy here. So that's the pro is that you'll build wealth faster, Mr. Hart. The downside is you have a smaller death benefit. But don't worry about that. Like I said before, if we need to, we can blend with a term policy to give you more coverage for your family, for your mortgage and your income. But the main purpose of this really right now is just building cash value for you as soon as possible, as fast as possible. So that being said, we'll go here on our specified premiums. Now, Mr. Hart, when it comes to life insurance policies, right, especially permanent policies, if you think about a permanent policy, a whole life, a universal life, and an IUL, how long are payments required on a permanent policy normally? For life, right? It's a permanent policy. Life insurance for life, right? Yeah, that's what most of us think. Not the case. In this structure here, I'm going to show you funding your policy for 10 years. 10 years and stopping. So you'll pay it for 10 years, Mr. Hart. At age 35, you're done making payments, policies fully funded for life. Check this out. We'll show right here a policy of a maximum of $1,000 per month. That's the max you can do. You cannot go above that, but you can go below it. I'll show you the range in what you have in your policy soon here. So $1,000 a month. For the next 10 months. We hit OK here. You see it changes to 12,000 a year automatically and hit OK. All right, Mr. Client, I'm done at this part here, right? So I'm going to show you the actual policy and how it works here. I go up here. We're going to go to view and print illustration. I'm sorry. Before I do that, let me go back. I made I missed one thing here, sir. Let me go back. So right now it's loading. So it's loading. I'm gonna go to close. I made one change here. Option A from option A to option B. What that really means is that if our client passes away prematurely, the family gets the cash value plus the original death benefit. And it's an increasing death benefit. So we have option B here. All right, we'll go to print, view and print illustration. So max funded 10 years, option B, 25-year-old male, born August 5th, 1999. All right, we'll go right into here, view and save PDF, save and view, download to my iPad. Top right-hand corner, it pops up there. I'll hit download, hit that download, we're ready to go. And so now I have the full copy of the complete illustration here, guys. I'm gonna use my Apple Pen here and light this bad boy up, all right? So let me go here. There we go, got it, cool. So I'll hit this right here, and I can now annotate on this PDF. So the first thing I'm gonna go to, guys, the first thing I'll go to here is they have this preset. They have this preset here, right? This is preset in the product here, right? Now, I'm gonna show this product here. Matter of fact, let me go back. I hate to do this here in the video because I want to show a simple product. Let me go to one thing here. I like the Morgan Stanley, but I don't want to be too difficult for you guys not to understand. So let me go back here. I'm gonna go back here, guys, to allocations here. Let me change one thing here. I go back here. Go back here. Bark, just so you know it, F&G, whatever they have preset is what they kind of recommend. But keeping this policy a little more simple for you guys to understand, I'm going to go here. We'll put 100% into the S&P point-to-point, 100% here, or 50% here. So the Morgan Stanley will keep at 0 for now. We'll maybe do a second video for more advanced video for that. We'll do the Barclays annual point-to-point with 1% bonus right here, 50%. And we'll take this down, annual point-to-point, 50%, 50%, the BlackRock down to 0. So we have 50% going to the Barclays Trailblazer Sector 5, and 50% going into the S&P point-to-point with 100% participation. Y'all tracking that? You good? All right, cool. And let's go right here. We're gonna go back up here now and go to print and view and print illustration. Again, I'm going back to change it to keep it simple for you guys to understand. I'm choosing the S&P 500 with a 12% cap and the Barclays. They have a Morgan Stanley and BlackRock index. It's pretty freaking sick. But to keep this simple, I'm gonna go with the Barclays and the S&P for you guys. Download. Because simple is good for duplication. And simple is good for distribution. So we go here. There we go. All right, cool. So Mr. Hart, I want to focus right now on the growth of this policy, all right, and how it grows. You're saving $1,000 a month until the policy max funded. If you look to your right here, you have a pie chart here, right? And in this pie chart, it's going to represent a couple of different things here. So you have 50% of your funds going into this purple part of the pie chart. What is that? That's what we call the Barclays. The Barclays Trailblazer consists of a couple thousand companies, right? It's pretty great, and it's very diverse. It's much more diverse than the S&P 500. The Barclays is large cap companies across different industries, from healthcare to consumer discretionary to real estate to tech to communications to energy. So many large companies, right, from all brands. And what it's doing is it's saying, hey, Mr. Hart, we'll give you 50% of your money going towards this fund. All right, so out of your $1,000 a month, half is going towards this fund. What's this fund going to do for you? They'll give you 170% participation of this fund. What does that mean? If I say, hey, I'll give you 100% of 10%, what is that? 100% of 10% is 10%, all of what you got. They're saying, no, we'll give you 170% of 10%. So what is that? That's an additional 7%, which is what? 17% growth. They're giving you 170% participation of the growth of the Barclays Trailblazer. year to year, point to point, which is pretty sick. It's more conservative than the S&P, but it's giving you more growth of that conservative fund, which is a win-win for you. Now, if you'll see here, this is 170% participation. It also has something called a bonus. After year 1, year 2 and up, you'll get a 1% bonus on your floor, guaranteed. So your floor is already 0.25 here. They'll give you after year 1, additional 1% bonus. You'll get, so this policy here ranges from 1.25 after year 1 to no cap. Yeah, that's right. There's no cap in this policy. If it blows up, it blows up. And I'll show you the future. I'll show you the growth based off of the past 20 years in a moment here. So you're getting 1.25% floor of a no cap strategy for your IUL, which is pretty sick. Now, we have half your funds going there. It's conservative with large participation. The other 50% you see here is going in this navy blue pie chart here. The other half, what is that? That's what we call the S&P 500, right? It's very familiar. It's Apple, Tesla, Google, Nike, Procter & Gamble, Moet, Louis Vuitton, Hennessy, all these big brands, right? You say, Chris, I want to put my money in that account. Okay, cool. It's tied to the S&P. They'll give you a floor of 0.25 with a cap of 12%. You'll get up to 12% of what the S&P does with a floor of 0.25 year over year. So now you have half your money going to the S&P. It's a little more riskier, more aggressive account. That's why it has a cap on it, but the floor is still 0.25. You have a more conservative Barclays account with more growth participation, kind of the best of both worlds. Now, this is all great and fine and dandy, Mr. Hart. I'm telling you this policy and how it works. The real question is, okay, cool, how is it going to perform for you in the future? Well, this is what it could do. What has it done? And so we base future performance based off past performance. We can't predict the future. So what if we met 20 years ago, Mr. Hart? You were age 5, 20 years ago, right? You're 5 years old in the play box, and you had some money for an IUL. You said, Chris, I want an IUL. I want the Barclays and the S&P. The last 20 years of performance, what happened here? So next slide here, I'm super excited to show you here. It's pretty cool. We're going to highlight here a couple of things. So we're going to highlight from year 2004, 2023 on both pages here. So let's get the years of growth from 2004 to 2023. Let's check out what happened. So the one thing we have here is we know what happened the last 20 years. So the S&P 500, we know exactly what it did. The actual S&P is really the American economy. Let's compare the raw S&P with no caps, but no floors, to the S&P 500 with a cap of 12%, but a floor of 0.25. That's also compared to the Barclays here with a participation of 170% with a bonus of 1%, a floor of 1.25. What would have happened if you put money into Barclays, the S&P with a cap of 12% the last 20 years compared to the actual raw stock market? So going here, we have year 2004. The market was up 12.89. Let's put that in green because it was some good years, right? I like to put it in green when it was a good year. So it was a good year there. Let's put it in green. Market was up positive. I'll keep erasing stuff here. Are we there? Boom. All right, cool. Was up positive 12.89. The S&P with a cap was capped. You got 12% with F&G. Your Barclays account did nothing. You know why? It wasn't even in existence in 04. It started in 05. It's a pretty new fund. So it didn't count in 04. All right, so we have non-existent, not applicable here. We have 05. The market was up 5.41. You got all the gains in the market up to that cap of 12% in the S&P fund here with Fidelity. You got in the Barclays 1.31, not very impressive. In 06, the market was up 12.29. You got 12% growth. You get all the gains up to a cap of 12%, which is still pretty good growth. Not all the gains, most of the gains. Barclays was up 8.47. Okay, not bad at all. Now in 07, the market's up 1.32. You got 1.32, and Barclays did 1.25, the floor. Something significant happens in 08. In 08, Mr. Hart, you were born in 05, right? In 99. So in 08, you were a young man. You were probably still in school, right? Definitely still in school. In 08, the market crashed almost 40%. People lost a lot of money in their 401ks, TSPs, IRAs, lost equity in their homes. It was crazy. But this account has a floor of 0.25. My clients lost nothing. The Barclays floor is what? 1.25, lost nothing. What happened here? My clients who have TSPs, they have 401ks, they have IRAs, that one bad year wiped out all the gains of the past 4 years. If you know history, in 04, we were just recovering from what? The dot-com boom in 2000, 2001. So you have a crash in 2000, 2001 here, right? So we're just recovering from that crash, sir. And what happened here? The client lost all their money from those prior years. They're still in the negative going back to 1999. Now, here with the Barclays and the S&P 500 with a cap, my client locked in all their gains from the past 4 years. Barclays locked in the gains from the last 3 years. So what does this mean? I can keep going line by line. I don't want to bore you, right? But this is money. Money is pretty interesting, right? I can keep going line by line here. The most important thing is the law of averages, right? Over time. What happens over time? 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years. Going back the last 20 years, the S&P 500 geometric average is 7.71. With all the highs and all the lows, your return is 7.7, which is really strong. It's stronger than most, stronger than inflation. In most cases, stronger than real estate returns, which is pretty cool. Now, but with a cap of 12%, that same fund with a cap outperformed it. How is that? Because the floor was 0.25. If you get all the highs and all the lows, it's actually not as good as having all the highs with a cap with no lows. So the S&P with a cap outperformed the S&P with no cap because the floor was 0.25. The Barclays did 9.03 last 20 years. How did it outperform the S&P with a cap? Because there's no cap on the Barclays. These significant years here, 2014 up 25%, 2017 up 21%, 2019 up 27%. There's no cap on this index. It allows for significant growth in certain years, which allows the average to be increased. So my clients with me, if you met me 20 years ago, got 9.83 and half their funds, 8.08, and they beat the S&P 500. And the S&P 500 beats 95% of mutual funds out there. And so chances are your 401k, TSP, IRA is operating somewhere around this here, maybe a little lower. This fund outperforms it. So this is why most of my clients see that this is a no-brainer. From a growth perspective, they're giving you so much growth with no losses guaranteed. Again, principal protection sometimes is more important than making money. Protecting the money you make and keeping it is more important. And so this is all fine. This looks really good, right? Based on the last 20 years, you should have a growth strategy here that's going to take care of your family next 15, 20 years, right? Let's see what happens here next 10, 15, 20 years in the account. Now, I've got 3 columns here, right? I got one column here that breaks down a guarantee assumption. Your floor is 0.25, the lowest floor you can get from the S&P fund, your lowest floor. What if the market crashes every single year? That shows how the policy will perform. We both know that shouldn't happen. If that happens, buy some guns and move to Alaska, but it's here in your contract, so you can see it. Here you have a guarantee assumption of 4.75. What do you mean? If you wanted to, you said, Chris, I'm an old school guy. I'm a old school gal. I want guarantees. I don't want these S&P stuff and Barclays and the market. I don't believe in it. I want guaranteed growth. I'm the guy you come to when you want that. So if you wanted to, I can offer you a fund here that gives you a guaranteed growth strategy of 4.75% growth. It's a fixed rate. Now, I'm not sure why you would do that when you saw the last 20 years of performance over the averages, did 9%, 8%. So most of my clients don't choose that option. But if you're someone who says I'm more conservative, I just want a guaranteed rate of 4.75, I can offer you a guaranteed rate of 4.75, very similar to like mutual funds to whole life policies, right? But most clients don't like that option, right? They want to go with some growth. So let's assume that the market grows 6.35 on average in your policy next 20, 30, 40 years. I know it did 9 and 8. We don't want to show you crazy numbers. We're very conservative here at our firm. We're going to show you low numbers that underperform the last 20 years of performance. So we're not doing some crazy numbers here for you. It's going to be realistic. Let's assume you say, okay, Chris, I'm putting away $12,000 a year in my account, right? This is your account value here. So let me change this color here, guys. I'm a stickler for colors here, right? So I go back here. This color is going to be yellow here. My plan premium. You put in $12,000 to the policy per year. You say, Chris, I'm putting in $12,000 to the policy per year. A fair question to ask is, Chris, out of that $12,000 a year, how much of my money is going towards wealth being built? What's my overall cost for insurance and fees? Which is a fair question to ask. You put in $12,000 year 1. After year 1, your account value is what? Your account value in the policy is right here. $10,166. Easy math. So you put in $12,000 at the end of the year, you had $10,166 left in the account. Let's put $12,000 a year minus $10,166. What do you have left? $1,834. So going here, we'll see $1,834 is what we call cost of insurance, COI. So COI is your cost of insurance. This policy is costing you $1,834 per year. Now, most of my clients budget monthly, right? Some budget annually, most budget monthly. So divided by 12 months, what's your monthly cost of insurance? Let's round that bad boy up to $153. This policy is costing you $153 per month for insurance. Now, what are you paying for? You're paying $153 per month for what? For paying for a death benefit here, Mr. Hart, of $341K. That's your coverage. So if you die tomorrow and you have a policy in force, that's death benefit going to your loved ones. It's life insurance for life. And you're paying it for 10 years. You'll see in a moment here, which is pretty cool. Also, long-term care, Mr. Hart. You get sick, cancer, heart attack, stroke, break a leg in a car accident. You can't walk, can't take care of yourself, can't bathe, can't clothe yourself. You'll qualify for access to that $341K to use as an accelerated living benefit rider. You get access to funds while you're living. That's all you're getting for what? That payment of $153, which is not bad at all, right? We value life insurance. Now, but you're saying, man, Chris, I want to build wealth. So you're saying, Chris, I'm going to fund this policy at an amount of $1,000 a month. So you say, Chris, I'm committed to saving up to $1,000 a month in this policy. So let's say you save $1,000 a month into this policy. And you're putting away your cost of insurance is what? $153. So minus that cost of insurance of $153. What's left over? So math on that. 1,000 minus 153 equals 847. I'll put that in green here. You got 847 per month going towards what? It's being overfunded and being put into the Barclays and the S&P for you. Got it. So that money's being split and going where? 50-50 into what? 50% is going into the S&P 500. Growing between a floor of 0.25 and a 12% cap. The other 50% is going to the Barclays. Barclays. Growing between a floor of 1.25 to no cap. Now you see exactly where your money's going. So the 847 split divided by 2 is going to be 423. You got 423.50 going into each fund here, growing for your family. So now my clients are seeing why you overfund IULs. It's very clear now that most of your money is going towards wealth being built. Exactly 85% of your funds are going towards life insurance and wealth being built. The other 15% is paying for long-term care for you and life insurance for life. You're funding it for 10 years. Now, sounds all fine and dandy. The next question is, Chris, when can I actually touch my money? When can I pull money out the account? This has something called a 15-year surrender period, right? So what does that mean? The first 15 years, Mr. Hart, you get limited access to cash. I'll mark off year 16 for you here. So at age 41, you can touch all the cash in the account. You have full access to all the cash. At that year, you've got $207K in cash in your account that you can touch. Now, that's in 16 years, and Mr. Hart, most of my clients aren't that patient. They're like, man, I need access to cash sooner, right? So we're not going to wait 16 years to put cash out, but at year 16, we can put all the cash out. Let's go to earlier years here. So you have a couple different columns here, right? You have one column that says this is your account value. Your account value is $10,000 year one, right, in the account. Your surrender value is the cash you have liquid access to. You have access to 80% of your cash year one. Most companies don't offer that kind of cash access. Maybe 50% if you're lucky. Some of them don't offer any cash first 3-4 years, depending on how it's structured. So you're seeing that, right? Year two, as early as month 13. Right now, it's August 1st, right? So September of next year, you can have access to you can have $21,000 in your account, have access to 90% of it at $19,000. Access to almost 90% of your cash by month 13. And no balance sheet rider, guys. This is for the agents. No balance sheet rider. You know what that means? 32,000, 31,000. 95% access to your cash by month 25. So you're seeing how it's growing here. Now, to your right here, you see where it says net death benefit? See what's happening every year, Mr. Hart? Yeah, it's going up. Your net death benefit is just your original death benefit of $341 plus the cash you saved over the years, totaling your what? Net death benefit, right? Now, next question is, Chris, this sounds great, man. When can I put cash in the policy? Like, when can I actually access cash? Let's show you how cash comes out. So I'm gonna show you here a pretty cool column here, how cash comes out, which is pretty cool. So you say, Mr. Hart, hey, next year I need some cash. What's up, man? Next December, we're buying some properties. A real estate crash took place. We've got $19,000 cash in our account. All right, Mr. Hart, what do you want to do? I want to put some cash out. Got it. Okay, cool. What do you need? Man, I need 15K. You pull out $15,000. Now, I'll ask you, normally, where's that cash come from? You're probably assuming it comes from what? The surrender value, right? It's been growing for the last, what, 2 years, tied to what? It's been growing tied to the S&P and the Barclays. So I have access to that cash now, right? Yes and no. It comes out as a loan from your death benefit. So if you die the next day, your family's not getting 362 to getting this minus that 15K loan. But you don't plan on dying. Like, you're young, you're healthy, you're vibrant, you're retiring in 10, 15 years, or whatever it is, right? And so that 15K, though, was used to buy a property, which is an asset for your family. So if you die, the family gets the asset. So you leverage 15K from the death benefit to buy a hard asset that's compounding wealth for your family, bringing in cash flow monthly, but your account continues to compound interest on $19,000 as if you never touched it. It continues to compound wealth. The following 2 years, you have $42,000 in your account, cash value. Now you say, Chris, do I gotta pay that money back? Absolutely not. Really? Yes. What's the loan of that policy, Chris? Do your math on different companies. There's fixed loans and there's also variable loans, right? I won't want to put a quote here. Last I checked, it was 0.5 for one company, the green guys, 2% for this company here on a fixed loan. 2% on a fixed loan here. So difference there between NOG and F&G when you're looking at those numbers there. 2%, half a point. Different number there. So looking at, okay, cool. $43,000. That's if you did a fixed loan, you'll probably do a variable loan. So $43,000, and guys, that was for agents, not for the client. So $43,000 in your account. Now you say, Chris, man, I want to put some money out again. Wait. I got access to all that money? No. You took a loan of 15K out. You didn't pay back. You have access to 43K minus 15K. You have access to what? $28,000, the remaining balance. You say, Chris, I need all $28,000 out. Got it. So if you die, they're not getting 386. They're getting this minus that 15K loan and minus that 28K loan you just processed. Again, you don't plan on dying. Take that money, you say, Chris, I'm going to buy a duplex or a townhome, whatever, right? You buy a townhome or a duplex. Now you're taking out all the cash in the policy. It's all deployed into real estate, businesses, crypto, whatever you're doing with the money, right? But the money, the balance of 43K continues to compound interest uninterrupted on $43,000 as if you never touched it. This is the infinite banking concept, Mr. Hart. As you see here, you stop payments at age 36. You stop making payments. You're done with the policy. Just pay it up. It continues to compound interest, come in, as if you never touched it. Where else in the world can you put money into an account like that, leverage arbitrage, put loans in the policy, get favorable loans in your favor to go purchase real estate, invest in businesses, crypto, whatever you're doing? Nowhere. This is infinite banking. And like you said, your policy has been structured for about 5 years, for 10 years, and it's fully structured and ready to go. This is the power of an IUL. Now, next step, the next process I'm gonna go over, Mr. Hart, is how the payments are made. It's a very flexible product. So I'm not done here, guys, agents. You remember you're done here. This is a little backward, but it's okay. You go down here at the end to go over the policy and how it's structured. So this is where you end at. You're ending at the level where we're talking about payments now, that you're closing the guest now, closing the client now. You're ending right here. The client's seeing how flexible it is. So Mr. Hart, this policy is pretty flexible, man. As you can see here, you have a policy that has a minimum payment. Your minimum payment here is $83.47. That's the minimum required payment per month to keep your policy in force. Minimum $83.47 per month, which is really inexpensive. That's like, man, if hard times hit, can you afford that? I'm sure you probably can, right? Yeah, of course. Now the target premium here is $1,804. So the companies recommend you pay at least the target per year to have a good balance of cash in your account growing for the future. So what is that amount? Let's take 1804 divided by 12, which is about 150 bucks, I believe. So 1804 divided by 12 months is 150. So 150 bucks a month. This is your target point right here. Target payment. They're saying, hey, pay at least a little better, a little cleaner. 150 bucks a month into this policy. So far, we have a midpoint of 150, right? We have a minimum of 8347. So we have a minimum payment here. We have a mid payment here. And we have a max payment to your right. Your guideline level premium. That's the guideline set in place by F&G. The guideline you chose as a client. You say, hey, my max is $1,000 a month. I'm not going above that. So $1,000 a month, I'm sorry, $12,000 a year is $1,000 a month times 12. So your maximum payment per month is going to be $1,000 a month, which is $12,000 per year in the policy. This is what we call your max. So $1,000 a month max policy right here. Now, so if as a client you're seeing this, okay, cool, this is the max. Now this is the max put in place by F&G based off your commitment at the inception of the policy. Your actual IRS government max that's governed by the IRS and the law says don't go above $17,000 in one anniversary year. Now, when I say year anniversary, I'm not saying January to December. I'm saying anniversary. If you got a policy for me September 1st of this year, you got until September 1st of next year to put up to $17,382 into the account. You don't want to go above that. They don't care how you pay it. You can pay one check, $12,000, be done with the policy. You can pay 1 month, 85 bucks, 1 month, 150, 1 month, 200, 1 month, 300, 1 month, 4,000, 1 month, 1,000. They don't care. Just don't go over 17,382 in an anniversary year. And the guideline here is to stay around $1,000 a month that you chose as a client at the inception of the policy. So, quick example here. Client says, okay, Chris, if my minimum's 84 bucks a month roughly, my midpoint's 150, max is 1,000. Now, my client says, Chris, I can't afford that. I'm a single father with 3 kids, man. It's hard to make ends meet. I make 85K a year. I'm not putting away 1,000 to a policy per month. My max is maybe 500 a month. If we drop the max from 1,000 to 500, Wells drops. The midpoint drops to maybe $75 a month. Super affordable. The minimum goes to about 44 bucks a month. Even more affordable. You can adjust the payment based off the client's needs, sir, which is pretty cool, Mr. Hart, right? Now, one client said, Mr. Hart, I'm a real estate investor. Over in Baltimore, I buy distressed properties, man. I fix them up, flip them, and I may take $30,000, $40,000 in profit and dump it in my IUL. Can I dump $45,000 in profit into his IUL? No, you cannot, sir. The Medicare is $17,000. That client needs a bigger policy. They'll build with larger sums of cash, more revenue, more capital, and a bigger budget. Make sense? So we built the policy based off the client's need at the end of the day. And so in this case here, you have a midpoint, a minimum of 183, a midpoint of 150, max of 1,000. Mr. Hart, do you feel pretty confident about these ranges? Did you want to make any changes? Do you want to increase your range to a higher range, to a higher max? Do you want to decrease it? Your FLS, your financial lifestyle strategy, so you had about 4,000 a month left over. I feel super safe about this $1,000 max. I feel safe about the mid 150 a month. You're putting away right now 900 into your TSP per month. So you're definitely capable of doing it. Did you want to see any changes here? Because we cannot increase that max in the future. If you need more, you have to buy a second policy. If you want to see 1,500 a month, let me show you 1,500 a month. Boom, I go back in, guys. I show them 1,500 a month. That's the power of this policy. This is how we cook up F&G IULs. This is how it works. And so I'm thinking anything else I should show you guys before I wrap this up. Boom, 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 max fun. I would say one thing as a bonus here. So if you're like, you're done there, this is done. Cut the video off, you're good. Watch it again. A quick bonus that I've seen, just some things to be compared. F&G's website is a little different from NOG. It logs out quickly. So don't be startled if this happens. If you're not good technology, if you're doing the IUL cookup, it will log out. So if you want to make any changes, you got to log back in again. It's kind of how it is. So I'm logging back in again. When you log back in, it's pretty simple. It saves it. Don't worry about it. You go to the sales tools. You go to illustrations here. You go to life illustrations. You go to my cases. View my cases because it's saved. Mr. Chris Hart right here. That same policy is saved the way it was, right? I go here. Go to quotes up top, quotes and illustrations. It's already pre-saved. I'm back into that policy. Now, the client says, hey, Mr. Hart, can I see it for 5 years? Well, you want to pay for 5 years and stop? 5 years and stop? So, okay, let's check it out. Is that even possible? Details here. Let's check it out here. So we go a 5-year policy. Let's try that here, right? So let's try 5 years. So there may be an easier way to do it, y'all, but I'm just gonna do this here. I'm gonna hit 0, 0, 0, exit out, 0, exit out. And my hands are too big. What's the freaking heck? Is that better? Huh. Cool. Cool. So my client pays $1,000 a month for 5 years and stops. That's kind of crazy. A 5-year max funded IUL? Is that even possible with F&G? I think their product's a little more favorable in the first couple of years. Let's see if it happens. So we go here, 5 years max funded. Print and view illustration. Again, guys, this is sales tactics. These are all sales tactics here. The client can do it for 5 years and stop. Why would you do that? You're going to be 29 years old. Keep funding it. But it looks great. And it's an option. Who else is giving that client that option to pay for 5 years and stop? That's freaking crazy. So let's check it out. So view, download, see what happens here. Download, boom, let's check it out. All right, same concept here, 50-50 strategy. Let's go into here. Client is putting away, client has a death benefit now of 341. He's funding it for 5 years. He's funding this bad boy for 5 good old years here. He's stopping at age 31. No more payments required ever again. 1,000 a month max funded policy. Look at the cash value right here. It looks pretty freaking good to me. Let's see if it laps. That would never lapse. At 1,000 a month max funded IUL for 5 years. Crazy. Let's check out a different strategy. Let's go. Again, this is all bonus for you guys. You can log off right now if you want to. We're playing around with it. Let's do a max funded strategy of 500 a month. Why not? Just for giggles. Let's do it. So 500 a month strategy. I think if I do it here, let's see. Yeah, it goes that and boom, boom, go to 5. No, why doesn't it save? 5. Okay. Did it save? I did 5 right there. Did it save 5? 9, 5, bro. I think if you go in and make it 5 from the get-go, it may do it. There's a way to make them all 5, right? 500. Monthly for 5 years, 500 a month. Can you do that for me? Pay premium. Ooh, to year 5? Is that an option? I think that's what I think I did it, y'all. I'm learning as we're going. So we hit year 5. Pay premium to year 5. That should work. That should see it. So maybe it's a cheat code that we could put Y5 and save some time. So pay to year 5. So clients paying 500 a month for 5 years. So we cut the premium from 1,000 a month max funded to 500 a month max funded. Very affordable, very, very cheap policy. That's a max. They pay max for 5 years. What happens to the policy? Let's see if it's enough to sustain it. Download. Go here. Check this bad boy out. Client has a death benefit of 170K. Nothing crazy there, right? Now you see over here, it seems lapse quick under the guarantee. It lapses pretty fast under the guarantee. But if we assume 6.35% growth, what happens to the policy? Oh, I'm sorry, it didn't lapse quick. That was year 20. So yeah, so we have this here, 5 years of funding it. Year 1, you got $5,000 access to cash. That's pretty legit. $4,000 access. Cash is $5,000. Cash value is growing. This bad boy never lapse. 500 a month for 5 years. Who can't sell that? Pay it for 5 years and stop? You can't sell that? What the heck? Who wouldn't want to buy that? Hey, for giggles, why not? Let's check out 3 years. Why not? Check it out. 3 years here. My client pays it for 3 years. I know that's crazy. It better lapse. It better lapse. $500 a month for 3 years. Only because of the structuring of the F&G policy. Remember, it's 15 years surrender, but upfront loads cash in the first years in the past. So it's a great product. So my client pays it for 3 years, $500 a month. Let's see what happens. Do they have an option in a growing market averaging 6.6% interest in the S&P and Barclays to start funding the policy? Let's see. So 3 years funding. Check right here. Let's see. Oh, who can't sell this? If you can't sell this, man, you can't sell. First of all, nothing. But here, here's let's check out the let's check out where's it at? Where's that page at? Where's that page at? Where it has the premiums on it? Minimum payment $32 a month. Target 623. Guideline level 4207. 7-pay. The 7-pay is at the 7-pay. That's why it's only funded for 3 years. It's not the guidelines. It's 7-pay. 7-pay for 3 years. Policies fully freaking funded in an average growing market. It's not a guarantee because the market crashes. It's not guaranteed, but come on. If you can't sell this, you should probably consider resigning from PHP. No, I'm just kidding. So that's my time, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and press stop recording.